Hey everyone, it looks like we've got a lot of people joining today. How's everyone doing so far? How is Friday treating you? Although the days seem to be all mixed up and meshed together right now, that's for sure. Yeah, let me just make sure I've got everything going here for you guys. So we're going to be covering in today's webinar is leveraging your agent locator website. So a lot of you that are on here do have branded websites with us. And it is not uncommon that those websites, for the most part, just sit there. I like to refer to our website as it's essentially your online store. So if you had a storefront, you would have to drive traffic to that storefront to come buy the product within your store. So treating your website similar to that to gain that traffic, and traffic essentially will move into leads nonetheless. So we are just a few minutes out here, so I'm not going to jump into it just yet. I'm just going to pull everything over that I need to and kind of go in there. Does anyone currently use their website that's in here with Agent Locator? Do they actually like blog on it, add content, update it? Let's just see what everyone has to say here. Yes, okay, so Franco, hi Franco. So Franco does do that, that's awesome. It can be, difficult in most cases because you guys are never always at your desk, right? So it can definitely be difficult to do that. So yes, Blake, this is where you can respond to questions, and I will try to get to any questions that you guys do have in here as I'm going along. And Raj says that he needs to update his website more often, which trust me, I understand it. So a lot of this stuff is definitely, it's easy for me to just spiel out and tell you all the things that you could be doing to do wonderful things, but implementing is a completely other topic, and I 100% get that. This is just more or less going to show you the tools on what you can be doing, leveraging those services that you currently have to make the most of it. So when all of this is said and done, you have things updated, you have systems in place, and you're well on your way. To get started, so anytime you're wanting to access your website, so if you have a branded website with us, in your CRM system, you're going to see this little option that says website, and then you just simply click on the website there to be able to open up the legacy CRM system, which is going to land you on the website editor. Now, we do have a webinar on specifically the website editor, webinar editor, yeah. So you can definitely find that in our Zendesk. I'm not going to go through all the aspects of editing your website in this case. We're going to go over the ones primarily where we're going to be adding content and so on and so forth. So what I typically like to do in here is go into both. So I like to have two tabs open for the website editor because they both have different aspects to control within the site itself. So on the website itself, you know that you're going to be in the website editor when you see these little black dots here on the side. This indicates here that you are inside your the editor and you can make changes. So one of the biggest things right now is we do have time, and it's all about adding content to your website. So adding content naturally is going to help encourage your rankings on Google. Google looks for websites that are being updated on a regular basis, and what better time now, to keep yourself occupied is to do that. So all of you on your branded websites do have community pages. So let's just go into Toronto here. Now, above all the listings in these pages, there's actually a text field right above these listings, as well as right below those listings as well. So to access those that content editor, you're just going to click this little content editor here on the right-hand side, and you're going to notice that there is this text box that appears. So for your community pages here, what you're able to do is add content about that area, things that you think would be valuable to those visitors that are coming to this page, whether it be like home sale statistics for that area, local schools, things like that, that visitors would find useful, but also help with your Google ratings. So you do have that ability to just add text in here. Toronto is the heart of Ontario. I don't know if it is, but we'll just put that in there. Now, what's great about this is that you can also include images in here. So to add an image, you're just going to simply click on this little image icon right there. And this little image icon is actually going to bring you into this image properties where you're going to browse the server. So when you browse the server, you do have access to several of our stock images and what have you, but you do have the ability to upload your own images. So if you do have images that you want to utilize on your website, by all means, you can upload them in there. Do note, if you are uploading images for your website, you want to make sure that you have the appropriate rights and usage rights for those images. You don't want someone coming after you where you're, using their image without permission. So you can definitely upload images in here. It's just if you choose a file, it's going to naturally pull up the file folder within your computer to add those images in here. Now, my computer is really slow. I don't know if all of you out there as well. There's a lot of people right now online, so it definitely does slow things down. So the images can vary. It depends on how large you want those images to be on there. It just really depends. You can always resize those images as well, just so that you are aware. So I'm just going to add in an image. Let's just pretend I'm adding in this one here. I have no idea how large this is. I actually might already have it. And then you're going to select that image. So it does give you the appropriate, the width and what have you here. It is locked in to contain those ratios. So you can definitely scale it down. So if I wanted this at 540 by 304, for example, and then I can click OK, and there is that image right here. I can then move this image if I wish to. So if I want that down below, I can have that. You can also link these images. So if this is, let's say you have images for different lenders, for example, and this one said RBC, you could then add an anchor basically. So you link this, then you pick the URL that you want to go. So it'd be like www.rbc, for example, .com, and then you hit OK. And then so anyone that actually, when they're on here, if they click on this image, it would actually link them over to RBC. So it is recommended when you are adding the content in here that you do add hyperlinks. Google loves it when you are mentioning other websites and kind of linking things back and forth. It does naturally increase your ratings as well doing it that way. So same goes for text. So if you wanted to go, the Toronto School Board, for example, you can just highlight this. And let's just find what the actual Toronto School Board is. I think it's Toronto District School Board, Toronto School Board. You could simply just grab the URL, so opening up that website. So grab this here. And it disappeared because I went off the page. So that is one thing I want to mention to you. So if you are on this page and you go to leave this page, you have to save it. So just again, I'll just go like this, just so that you know. So if I was to go over here, it actually removes that information. So going back on here, when you do add anything in here, periodically, what you're going to want to do is click outside of that text box to encourage the save. So I'm glad that happened to me on here, because if it didn't happen to me on here, it would be likely happening to you guys on here. And the last thing we want is for you to spend, a significant amount of time writing and doing what, and then something like that happens. So again, anytime you make any changes, just click outside to encourage that. So if we have here the Toronto, School Board, we would then just highlight this text and add that hyperlink in here and go OK. And then again, we would click outside the box and go OK. To see how this is going to work, so when it goes on here, you're going to see that this text is now highlighted. When you move that cursor over, it is showing that you can click it. And by clicking it, it's then redirecting. Now, one thing with these redirects, as you can see, when I clicked on it, it just took over that screen. So we don't necessarily want that to happen. So what you can do to prevent that from happening is in here where you have that link essentially, you can have the target. And so here it says not set. So then I want to have a new window. Pull up instead and then go okay. So when I go on here now and click this, it's going to open up a new tab instead of taking over the existing one. Does all of this so far make sense to you guys with respect to adding that content in here? You got some yeses in here. Awesome. Perfect. So one big thing that happens right now is a little bit. So Raj, it's a little bit, it makes sense to you. So basically, let's just kind of recap on here. On any page in your website, just so you are aware, I'm going through the community pages. If you go to any page that has content on it, you would just simply click on this content editor to pull up that dialog box, add content in. You can download images from here if you wish to, whether it's an image you've already uploaded or another one. If I want to select this image, we can then change this height of that image if we care to. We can also link this image as well to wherever we want it to go. And again, we can link it to the Toronto District and have it in a new window if we care to do so. And then again, anytime you make any changes here, you're going to click outside that box to make sure that those changes do save in there for you. So this is something that you can update periodically if you want to. The images can be cropped, yes. So you can definitely crop your images. The images can be any size that you want. One thing that you can do as well, so if you know the size where you want that image, one thing is making sure that it is mobile responsive as well. So if you're having a hard time with this, 100% our support team can help make your images responsive for you. But just by double clicking on this, when you have the image, if you simply just put 100% as the width and hit OK, I don't need an image source. Okay, so why are you doing that? We'll just pick the image again. So what you can do is remove this one here, and then you basically go 100%, and that will make sure that that image is responsive. Now, this is a very large image that I have, so by making it 100%, you can see that it's taking up the full width of the page. So this will allow, so if somebody's on a mobile device, it's not going to go skewing left and right and center. Again, if you have any difficulties with this, it's just not showing up for you the way that you intended. Our support team can definitely fix that for you. The images, Raj, so with respect to the images, they can only go wherever you have those text fields. So when you add and you open up the content editor, when these little text, like these little dash lines, that indicates you can put an image anywhere where you see that. So most of the websites have the ability to add content to them or most of the pages essentially. So if we go into the About page, for example, if you have this here, you can definitely see that there is a text field right here. Anywhere where you have these, so if you have these articles into your buyers, for example, these text fields here, you can add images, add hyperlinks, and so on and so forth right from there. But so I know this here I'm editing right now is one of our training websites. So these are the websites that would run, your primary. So these websites here are what we consider your business tools with respect to having to do with yourself, what you offer, and real estate. There are the lead gen websites, and unfortunately you cannot edit those websites. Their sole purpose for those websites is 100% lead gen. It's all about the listings, where these ones are all about the content, the realtor, the listings, all that fun stuff in there. Now, what I wanted to kind of show you guys today is, essentially using your website with, social media, for example, to drive traffic. So one of the biggest things that I'm seeing right now, and you guys all see it day to day as well, is a lot of people share content. They see an article about this or that or what have you. You just share it. It could be valuable information, you know, whether it has to do with real estate, the current situation, mortgage rates, you know, all that stuff. And what people end up doing is they just share the Globe and Mail. They share, you know, whatever the source is of that instead of creating it their own. Now, what's advisable that you do is actually have this content on your website. So a lot of the time, those articles that you see, if they're written by like the National Post, Globe and Mail, if they're, you know, written by, you know, professional journalists that might use language that isn't always understandable to all viewers. So I always encourage you, dumb those articles down. Most people don't understand what it means. You guys are in the industry, so when it has to do with real estate, dumb it down into a format those visitors can definitely understand, because if you share it then, let's say you write that as a blog on your own website and you share it on social media, then anyone that's engaging and sharing it is actually sharing your website. So you're driving traffic to your website to read that article rather than sharing the National Post and driving traffic there. Okay. Stella is having fun joking around with me. Sorry, just joke. Anywho, I don't really know. So in your blogs, I've got the content editor now. So most of you will have this blog tool in your website. Some of you may have hid this page. If you're not blogging, you can definitely unhide it. So just click on the blog wherever you are. If it is hidden right now, at the bottom, you do have this blog page settings where you can definitely hide the page. So you can see here where it says hide from public view. It says no. If I wanted to hide it, it would be on yes. So if yours is currently hidden, you can definitely unhide it and then click save. So one thing with all of these pages in your website, at the bottom of the pages, you will see, you know, the page settings depending on the page that you're on. So if you click on that, bring it up, there you can have a specific image that you utilize for this exact page. You can select an image that you may have already in your gallery. Let me just pick a random picture for future categories right there. You have the page title, page name, but you can also add in meta keywords and a description. So what people on Google, when they're searching, what are they finding on this specific page, this blog page that you have with all your articles and a description as well. So these keywords are going to help Google push that page with all your blog posts up in the Google rankings. So to add a blog post in here, so again, it's quite simple, really. So all you're going to do, and these are all the blog posts, you can have nice images. All you're going to do is add a new blog post. Now, another thing that you can do as well is add different blog post categories. So as you can see up here, I have blog, and then I have a blog post category that says Toronto Close. So you can create different categories with respect to what it is that you're trying to share. So each blog category, for example, I'll just create a new one right here. And it's all relevant to Toronto. This site is, I believe, connected to the Toronto feed. That's why I have it. So let's pretend I want another blog page and it's, you know, in the community. Because maybe you focused in a specific city and you want to have blog posts that are just for fun. Those ones are generally easy to read. They definitely, if you do community events, things like that, it's a great way to bring your site up in the Google rankings because the content is easy to find. And again, you're going to be referencing other websites within that content. So page title is in the community. You can have the page name, essentially the same thing. And are you adding this page under, and you would add it under the blog, essentially. And it's the page type as well as blog, because you want it to be a blog. So once you've done that, you're going to add your page in edit. And you can see here, there's no blogs listed in this category yet. So it says real estate blog coming soon. If we go here, we're going to also see that there's that new subcategory under the blog. So Jeff, we will be doing a lot of that driving of traffic. So tomorrow is Saturday. On Monday, we actually have Nadeem in here who is watching to see what I'm doing in here today. Nadeem is our Facebook marketer, and he's going to be running a webinar on Monday with myself, and he's going to be talking all about campaigns and driving traffic using the automation so that you can essentially generate leads from Facebook from into your CRM system connected to that lead gen website in there. Now, so what I'm going to do is go to the regular blog page where it's going to show all the blog articles in here. So if you want to create a new blog post, you're just simply going to go add new blog post. You're going to give it a title. So let's just go, you know, test article for webinar. Now you can have blog tags as well. So this is just kind of indicating like tags within here, you know, test, currently I can't spell test, real estate, things like that. And again, you want to add this blog post under the blog page, essentially right here. So then what all you're going to do is click add blog post and edit. And just so that you guys are aware, is you can schedule posts. So if you sit here for a little while and you schedule some posts to go out at different times, you can definitely do that. And so all you do is you click add blog post and edit. So meta tags, so tags, when you're doing it in here, it's just reference to the tags for this specific article. The meta tags is what Google is looking for. So when you're doing a Google search, for example, and I'll see if it'll kind of pull up for me, real estate blog, these are meta tags essentially all in Google. So these are the keywords that Google is looking for. So you can see this is real estate, blogs, blog. These are all the keywords, and of course this is the description. So if that kind of clarifies things, this is what Google is looking for, is those keywords found in that page to pull it up in the search results for you. And the description, this is the description. Right? So the description should include the tags that you've included as well, so that it all kind of joins together in there. So anytime you hire any kind of SEO company to do this, that's a chunk of what they're doing, is adding meta tags and descriptions to your website to increase the visibility and result in the Google search results in there. Now back to the article. So once we have this article on here, again, you're going to click on the meta tags, the content editor right here. You can add more tags. You can change the color of these. You can change the title after you've done this. And then of course, you're going to add your blog post. So right now, some of you, what you're doing is, I keep seeing a lot of newsletters coming across my email, all, you know, reflective of the current situation. So you can definitely have even a blog post category that is, you know, covering, you know, the most recent updates with respect to the situation and how it's affecting real estate, or you can just have it as regular ones here. So instead of, or in addition to sending out those email campaigns to those visitors that you have in your systems, is you can create that article on your website, and then not only be able to drive traffic from your CRM system into this branded website to look at that article, but you can also do that, of course, on social media as well. So kind of doubling up on your efforts with respect to that. So again, goes for the same as far as your content editor, adding your content, you know, with respect to what you're wanting to display in your blog post itself. So content goes here, here. If you're doing content, sometimes what you can do is also include hyperlinks. So try to include 2 to 3 hyperlinks if you can. So if you are rewriting an article that is written by like a news site and you're dumbing it down, you can just always reference the original article, like, you know, to view full article, go here. Or go to, and then you put the URL of that site. So if you're doing go here, this is going to be a hyperlink to that website. If you're not doing it that way, you would just obviously paste and create that hyperlink with the actual URL of that source. And yes, Lisa, you can embed your videos from YouTube. So if I go on to YouTube right now, let me just click out of here so it doesn't disappear on me. So we go into YouTube, for example, and let's just having this one here, which is one of our Beverly Ruffners. So you would just go into the share option and you would go embed. And you would copy this iframe right here. I can just copy it, essentially. And then in your website itself, you could go into the source. And then right here, when you go into the source, this is allowing you to add scripts. And then you go, okay. You can see that there's now an iframe in here. I'm going to click outside the box, go okay. And then when I remove that, you're going to be able to see the video right in here. So this also works for videos that you have on Facebook or Vimeo. So anywhere where you have videos, essentially you have typically will have an embed option that you can embed right on here as well. So that's exactly how you do that. Now, on here, anyone that comes to this page does have that ability to continue to share. They do have options to share through a magnitude of other places as well. So if you want to look through more, there's like a bunch of sites that I don't even know what they are, but you can definitely share it, amongst others other than these top sites to do that. Yes, so you would need to, Lisa, yes, you have to. So our site doesn't do the hosting for the videos. It would be a lot of weight on our servers if everyone was doing that. So yes, you would have it uploaded to another source and then you would embed it into the website itself. So it's actually being hosted on that other platform and it's just being displayed in here. Again, keeping in mind that this also counts as a link as well in your website, because now you're hyperlinking into a video that is on YouTube. So it also goes to your advantage. Now in here, you do have the ability to, when you're in the content editor, is adding a featured image into these here. About your slideshow widget, can we change the background of it? The slideshow widget is a little bit tricky. Support can definitely work with you on that to display it a little bit better than it is, because it's just it's a fun widget. A lot of those widgets are quite old. The system eventually is getting an uplift, needless to say. So if you are using any of the list of the widgets, and so for those of you that don't know what Lisa is referring to, we do have a page within our Zendesk articles that is all about the widgets that you can use. How do you add icons? So you can't add the icons, so to speak, in there. They are just at the bottom, because it's through a third-party app that allows you to share it essentially in there. For you, typically you could share it through those buttons yourself, or you can copy the URL, which I'm going to show you all about how to go about doing that. So either or on there. So you can add those feature images. So as you can see, all these ones here have images associated with them. So you can add your feature image. The size of the image, the good reference is these community size. So they're 440 by 240. Slightly bigger is okay as well. So let's pretend I wanted to just select this image because he's just done for the day. You don't have to save. It is saved on there, needless to say. And so when we turn off this editor, we're going to be able to see that he has this, there's that, there's the video. Now, to share this on social media is quite simple. There's a couple little steps that you're going to want to take when you're doing this. So the first, I'm just going to copy this URL. Again, you can share it if you wish to share to your social. If you're logged in, you can do it that way. Display may differ when you're doing that. So when we go into social media here, so let me just open my Facebook. All you have to do is copy that URL and paste it right in here. Now, it will show you the link here. So as you do that, you're going to see the image pop up. Once you have this, if you want to erase this URL, you can definitely do that and just write whatever you want about that article, and then you just post it. So once you've posted this article, anyone that, you have it on your business page, for example, you can boost that post, which Nadine will talk about on Monday, but you can also share it onto your personal profile. But anyone that actually clicks on that article is now being brought into your website to actually look at it. So instead of driving them to those other third-party websites that are hosting, a lot of information that we keep sharing, people essentially could be sharing your article and you're just driving an immense amount of traffic depending on what it is that your article is sharing there. Does that make sense to you guys? Yes, Sahil, this is being recorded, so you'll be able to watch us at any time. That's not a problem whatsoever. Now, one tip I want to show you. So some of you, so if you want to change, so this image is the image that is associated with that article. Just so you know, Raj. So if you want a different image on social media, use a different image in here. Now, if you have, let's say this, one of the things that people will do is they'll post and it'll be a completely different image than what you have in your article. So what you can do is go into Facebook debugger, basically. So you're going to search Facebook and then the debugger right here. What this does is it's going to scrape the site when you do it to find any new ones, any new images that may be used. So all you do is you paste the URL of the website there, or the page that you're looking to share, and then you're going to debug it. So for example, if I change this article image and I am not in the editor one anymore, and let's say I change this article, this image, I want to change the featured image on here, and I want another image, so I'm just going to use this one. So I want to use that one instead. So if I go back, if I was to try to share this on Facebook right now, it would likely still be the same image that I previously had. So basically we can debug it and we can keep scraping it. So if you scrape it, it'll keep scraping and it'll eventually pull up the image, the new image that you have for that specific article. So you can share it and it's now the new image there. Does that make sense to everyone? The sharing debugger is probably one of the greatest things that you will encounter when you get those frustrations of sharing something and it's not the right picture. So that's a great way. Now, with respect to this article, you can definitely incorporate this into your emails as well. So going into the AgentLocator CRM system, I got to figure out which one I am currently on for this. Now that one, I feel like it is. Sorry guys, I got a lot of windows open. There we go. So in here, you do have your database, and you do have that ability in here to create emails. So if you are sending out mass emails from here, you could be directing that email, those traffics into your website, essentially to read that information instead of just reading it on the email, because they then could essentially share that information as well. So what you can do is actually create an email template if you're doing that. And I do have a great tip in here with respect to adding video to these to encourage. So a lot of you may use BombBomb to encourage the clicks. So BombBomb is essentially what I refer to as a GIF. It's a moving image to encourage a click. So I'll quickly show you what I mean. So if we put a title in here, this title is to, yourself. So newsletter. Some people use the same newsletter template over and over again, and then each month they just edit it with content and information. If you want to design for a newsletter, by all means, our support team, you can just let them know what they're looking for. They may be able to do that for you at no cost, just depends on the complexity of your newsletter. And then you have your title, the subject. So let's just go like test newsletter. Now, same as the editor, in here you can add hyperlinks, you can download images, you can not put video in here. So when you are looking at things on BombBomb, they are not videos, they are GIFs. They are moving images, in other words. So you do have short code in here, which will automatically pull your lead's name. So it could be like, hi, and then you just drag and drop it over here, first name, and you can give a little book. I wanted to keep you, up to date with the current situation and how it's affecting real estate. Read my latest article here. da, 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 da. And so you could then have an image that you've created as a GIF. So I went ahead and created one with beforehand. This is my GIF file. I just kind of created like this random COVID one here. And so a GIF, as you can see, is a moving picture. So you can see how it's changing. It's encouraging someone to click on that image. And so what you would do at this point is then hyperlink it. So again, highlighting that image, putting the link, and then you're going to add that URL, right? So if they go in here to you want them to go to your blog. And then again, you're going to put it in a new window and then go, okay. So now anyone that, when you send this out, they're going to click on this and it's going to bring them into your website to look at that blog post. So do many of you know about Jiffy and how to do that? So John, you can go on to, so a great site for finding images is called Pixabay. So Pixabay, you can actually get images, you can get photo, like videos, things like that. So you just type it in. Let's just say, like, I don't know, let's just type in a word practice, for example, which I currently can't spell properly. You will have, these are sponsored images at the top. So these ones here you would pay for. These ones all down here, these are all free to use. You have commercial, you know, you can definitely use any of these images in here. And all you do is you click on the image and you do your free download. When you are doing downloads for your website, I always encourage, you know, depending on what you're using it for, you may want one of the larger sizes of those images to make sure that it's not being stretched or skewed in any way, shape, or form when you're doing that. So this is pixabay.com, has a ton of images. They even have videos that associate with that as well. So when you hover over it, kind of, which is kind of cool, in my opinion, that these are all for free. Videos are limited. There's a ton of pictures. The videos are still growing on this site. So with respect to Jiffy, it is quite easy how you're going to do that. And what I just pushed, you guys can also see my screen, right? All right, so trying to figure out which one it is. All right, so all you're going to do is on jiffy.com. So you go to jiffy.com. You have to be signed in order to do this. All you do is go to create. You go to create a GIF. And so you can do it in a couple different ways. Whereas if you want to add some photos in here or a video, the videos can only be, I believe, up to 15 minutes long if you're doing a video as a GIF, just so you are aware. But you could do photos and what have you. If it is on Facebook, or sorry, YouTube, for example, I am going to just pull up a random YouTube video. And all you have to do is grab the share it. And so copy that. Let me just pause that. So once you've got that share, you just basically, you go like this. And it's going to show you then the video right here. So you can pick what the duration of it is. You can see that this is moving. So if I want the start time to be somewhere else within my video, we can change that. And then basically from here, you're going to continue to decorate. So continuing to decorate is going to be the same whether you are doing a video or if you're uploading an image from your computer. So I'll just show an image. Let's pick some cherries, for example. Or no, these are grapes, I think. So once you add this, you can definitely add text to it. So like, you know, cherry picker. It's a picture of cherries. So this is classic. You do have the ability to make it a meme as well, which puts it up at the top. And then you have the classic as well. Once you have this in here, you can definitely pick the color of font that you want to have for this. And then you do have some animation where it might be, you know, this one here, the glitchy, sparkles, whatever you may want it to be, to have these on here for individuals to encourage them. They can tell that it's moving. You then have stickers. So stickers, if it's a play, basically these are little animated stickers. So if you have like a YouTube, for example, a video, and you want someone to watch it, you just search YouTube. There's different options that you could use. You know, you can use this little play button, make it a little bigger. If I can make it bigger, because I keep moving it. Why are you doing this to me? Anyway, you can make it bigger. My mouse is like giving me a hard time here. There we go. Make it bigger. You can move your text so it goes elsewhere on here as well. And then once you're done with that, you're going to continue to upload. And then you upload to Jiffy. So whether this is a video that you're doing or if it's a photo or images that you're doing, you can do that. And then once it's all said and done on here, you're just simply going to right click that GIF and you're going to save it as an image because it is an image. So save it as an image and then it'll be on your computer and then you'll have that ability to upload and link it and kind of go from there. Does that all make sense to everyone? All righty. So I am now. So that is how you would do that through your database with respect to the CRM system and being able to, just got to figure out where I am at within here. So if you're sending this out to your database, this will encourage clicks. People, when they see things that are moving, they essentially have to click it, right? So I did have a client that we did practice this. He was sending out emails. He put a lot of effort into his emails and linking and things like that. He just wasn't getting the clicks. I said, let's create a GIF, see if that works for you. And it did definitely help increase his GIFs because it could be something as simple as, I think I have one that's like, click here to get somebody to click onto the website, right? So it's an image that I just grabbed and then added. So this is just a still image and this moving part right here is the GIF, is just the arrows pointing at it. So the blog post GIFs, I actually haven't tried that out personally for myself. So let's just try it out. I don't believe it would work up here. We can definitely try it out. We will see. I have not tried that part yet, as I mentioned. So we'll see if it even gives me that option to add that photo in. It might not. So this is a GIF file. We'll see if it does work. So it's working right here. So it does seem to be working on here. It's just a matter now, is it going to share like that as well? So we'll browse. And okay. And so it does appear to work on here. It's pretty cool. And if we share it to Facebook, I just want to see if it includes that same GIF. And again, I apologize because I got a lot of different tabs open here. I think it's this one. So let's just delete this post. And first I gotta have to debug it. So it shows the new image. It doesn't show that this is moving though, but we'll see if it does or not. Okay, where am I posting? There we go. So yeah, it doesn't, so you can, like sometimes it allows you to change the destination URL, just so you know. Sometimes it doesn't. And let me just post this. I just want to see if it actually includes the GIF when it posts. It does not. So it includes it as a still image on here. When you open up that test article, you can see it as a GIF in here. And then of course it does show up as a GIF in the article as well. But yes, you would be able to hyperlink that outside of the site as well. So we both learned, everyone learned something new today on here. And it's kind of cool that it shows right here as well, those little articles. So one cool thing, so one of the things that I was doing in here is a lot of you as well, you want to be able to share listings, right? So getting the people on your website with respect to these listings, you can definitely do it. I did one for Toronto condos, for example. I created an article, Toronto condos under 400,000 in here. And if we read more, we're basically having listings on here, which is going to be dynamic. It's going to always be changing, right? So it's directly connected to your feed, whatever feed you are, it will be directly connected to that feed and will constantly update. And then again, you can share these blog articles on social media. So if I was to do that on here, I could then, you know, paste this article. We're going to see that image. And then, for example, if I post that, anyone that's clicking on that article is going to go into that website. It's going to fall into and find all those listings, which is dynamic and changing constantly as new listings do come on the market. Now, how you do that? Let me just delete these posts. We don't need them. People might be wondering what the heck's going on here. And perfect. So going into the website editor, what you're going to do is under your blog, I did create a condo like this Toronto condos. This is one article, right? So I just created this as Toronto condos. So maybe I want to create another category under it here, and I'm going to go add new category, or no, add new blog post rather, and, you know, luxury, apparently can't spell, luxury condos. And where'd my cursor go? There we go. Luxury Toronto condos. And we can see that we're posting it under the Toronto condos. We're not putting it under the blog. It's going under the Toronto condos. And then we're going to add that blog post and edit. So same idea with this one is you're going to click on this little edit button to get the content editor up. We can then add a nice image. So let's just pretend we've got, if there's a nice condo interior or something like that that we can use. Let's just pretend this one's fabulous. And then all you're going to do, so this is where you're going to use widgets. Okay, so this would be a widget. So, you know, the most recent, so whatever you want to say, most recent luxury condos in Toronto. And then you're going to add your widget. So the widget, and I can copy this for you guys. So it's a little bracket, and then it's widget, and then listings. Okay, so, and then you do the end bracket. I am going to copy this, and it is going in the chat for you guys. Okay, we're going to save that. So now that this is done, obviously there's nothing there. We need to tell the system what listings to show. So we're going to turn this content editor off, and we're going to use this little widget editor. And when we pull up the widget editor, we're going to see this little button here that says listings settings. So we're going to click on that one there, and we're going to select the listings. So now we're just basically setting the criteria of exactly which listings we want to show here. So you guys can definitely be creative with more, like with these types of pages that you're sharing out there to encourage traffic. Again, they're going to constantly update with new listings. Yes, Joseph, you can add your Google reviews to your website. So I believe there is an iframe of some sort for that, a little bit of a script. Our support team can help you with implementing that into your website if you care to do that. So on here, we're going to obviously select the city, which is going to be Toronto. What I typically do is I start typing the name of the city and then go show options and then select it so I know that it's 100% accurate. And then we're going to go into the for sale for rent. So unless you want rentals to also show up, this is dependent on your board. You're going to select sale only unless you want those rentals to populate in there. You're then going to do the type of home. In this case, we did do condos, so we can do condo, common element, co-ownership, just for fun. And then we're going to do the price point. So the list price in this case, we have two options, right? So we have equal to or greater than, equal to or less than. So in this case, we're going to go equal to or greater than. These are luxury condos. So let's just say they're all listed at $1.5 million. And then we're going to add that filter. We can see now that there's 156 listings that now match this criteria. If we preview those, it's going to show you the condos that do and the price points that they're in and where they're located. You can continue to add more filters if you want to with respect to what listings are on here. But once you're done, you're just going to simply hit save this criteria. And then you're going to see that the listings are now presented on that page. So again, when you're sharing these pages on social media or wherever you're sharing them, they'll be dropped, these listings are going to be up to date. And of course, your site typically does have that forced registration aspect in it where you can be capturing those leads in there. So our listings being shared on your listings page. So this here, so with respect to this listings here, you can create different blog articles. So if you have your community pages, these are going to be already preset. You can preset community pages if you want to create community pages based on property types, things like that. You can also have it as blog posts where you're adding articles, doing that, and sharing it on social media. It's really however you would want to do it. This is definitely an easy way to do it. Adding the community pages, I'm not going to do that today. It's not difficult. There's some steps involved to do it, needless to say. I don't think we'll have time, but I do have a generic website editor webinar, which I believe I may touch base on. That is adding those additional community pages in there for your sake in there. So another feature that you guys do have in here is your landing pages, right? So we do have, I'm just going to turn off this editor in here. So you do have, for example, your daily listing alerts. You do have your seller ones, the street match. So Addo is trying to get that new street match out for you guys, essentially, which is all about the COVID aspect. So it is worded a little bit differently. I tried to kind of reproduce it on here. It sort of worked, but sort of didn't at the same time, just with respect to the images that I had. So really, I just changed the image, changed what it said, so on and so forth. Now you guys can, with these domains here, is you can actually buy different domains to forward to these pages. So if you guys are running Facebook ads, you get to tell Facebook what domain URL you are presenting. So if you have nosyneighbortoronto.com, for example, you can have that URL forward right to this specific page, and that URL would actually appear when you're running any kind of social ads as well on here. So these pages here, you do have the ability to edit them. This is where I would go back into this section of the CRM system. You do have your landing pages. So when you go into your landing pages, you do have the ability to edit these. So I did edit this landing page. And so just to kind of give you an idea, you can have, there's backgrounds that we already have in place right here. You can choose a custom background color. You can choose just the basic background color. You can also have an image URL. So the image URL is what I did. To get the image URL, this is a couple steps to do this, is you would go into your website, essentially, just so that you guys kind of go in here and just go into your content editor, and you can go anywhere basically and click on the image, and then you browse the server and wherever you want that image. So in that page specifically, the bigger the image, the better. So the images, which ones were the ones? I think it was, so the height you're going to want at least 700 to 900. So these ones here, for example, 944, these are the perfect size for them. So as again, if you're downloading images from online, try to get those biggest images in here. So you can view the full image, and that's going to give you the URL to use. Okay, so you would just copy that URL and then go back. This is being recorded, you guys. There's a couple bit of steps in here, but if you wanted to, you would just paste that in there, go preview, and now you've got your new image in here for you. You can change what it says as well. So you change what it says right here. You can state it up to date with new listings. And then you also have a Facebook image URL as well. So this would be the image that would be pulling up for Facebook when you're sharing this page. So if I'm saving these changes as well, I don't even know what image this is, to be honest with you. It probably won't. Oh, so this is the image I tried using. That's why. Going to work best. I've had issues getting them to fit in the right. Yeah, so a lot of our images that are in the back end are short images. They're meant for like a banner that's half the size of this. So they're about a 500 pixels. So you're looking for something that the width is about 1900 and the height is no less than 800, ideally 9 to 1000 pixels in height. So the bigger the better, essentially. If you need help with that, again, we can definitely help you out if it's just not working out. We don't want to stretch your image, that's for sure, because it just looks absolutely horrible. It will shrink essentially to fit. It's never going to overflow essentially on these pages. So again, this is something, again, that Nadim is going to be helping us with on Monday, as well as how to set up campaigns to drive traffic to these pages as well, because it is, you know, as sad as it may be, it is an opportunity to take advantage of certain things when you can and build a database of people that are most likely, especially in this situation, concerned about their largest assets. Like, what does this actually mean? For that. So again, on social media, be the exact same thing where you're pasting that URL for that street match. And then the image that I had, as you can see, was a different image that I had used. You can edit that destination URL if you really wanted to. In this case, don't want to. But again, if I was to write anything about this image, why it's showing like this is this image was like a portrait size image, not a landscape size image. So it's shut off in that sense. But then you could write whatever you want to about this specific, you know, landing page. When somebody goes to click on it, they're going to be brought into your nosy neighbor site to be able to enter their information and get that info and get those listings. So this is a little temporary workaround until Addo gets those pages working for you. But you can essentially do that with all of your landing pages. You do have the ability to go in there and edit them, edit the images. When it comes to the buyer's landing page, it is a little bit different. So I am going to go this one I can close, and it is this one. So with respect to the buyer's landing page, you'll see that these are all like the home worth, the street match, the condo worth, their home worth page. So you can edit all these ones in here. When it comes to the buyer's landing page, you're going to go into your global settings, and all the way at the bottom here, you have the buyer one social media share URL. So that's where you would enter that URL as to what image, if you're sharing the buyers for the daily listing alerts landing page, that's how you would go about doing that, making that edit here. And while we're quickly in here, this is all extra CSS that our team does if there's a certain change that you're looking to do on there. In this, so this here right now, we're in global settings in this editor. This is where all your information lies, your brokerage, your social media links, that sort of thing. You could include the the chat on your website. If you want to include mortgage payments on your listings, you can. And these are all like essentially the thank you messages that pop up. So you guys actually have control as to what those say. If you guys aren't doing lead generation, you will have lead gen options. If you are doing lead generation, you will not have lead gen options. We have people that were running lead gen in the past and turned off forced registration, so they weren't getting any leads. So that is essentially, this is one side of the editor, and then being inside the editor itself is your other aspect of that as well. Now, is there any direct questions that any of you guys have with respect to what I just went over, or a how-to that you would benefit from in here? You guys are all website pros. Love it. Do you guys find, so for those of you that are currently blogging on their website and adding content and what have you, when they share those, how are you guys finding that when you are doing that? Are you guys getting shares, you getting clicks into your website? Remember, if you guys do have tag marketing, anyone that engages in your post on social media that drives them back to your website, they're being tagged. So it's going to help with that. Yeah, I don't see any questions. I feel, yes, it is. There is definitely, it was being recorded. There is a lot in here. I would focus on one thing at a time. You know, when you're adding information into your website, don't go all crazy and be like, I'm going to stay here for hours on end and create 50 different articles and things like that. You want to do it strategically where you're continuously adding information. If you decided to sit there and, let's say, for all your community pages, dump all that information in one day, Google looks at it as one day of dumping of information. It's not a continuous update. So it's beneficial to yourself to hold off and do it strategically, space it out day over day in there. Yes, it's a lot of information. We do, so with Raj, with our Agent Locator, we do offer content writing services. It varies in cost for you guys if you are. So content writing, basically we have somebody that would do the research depending on what it is that you're looking to write your article on. They would custom write your article, so it's not like duplicated, it's not shared amongst anyone else, it's specific for your site. So you can either do that monthly, you can do that per article, or you can do it annually. So if you're doing it by the article, it's $50 an article. If you're doing it monthly, excuse me, I believe it's, I'm going to say $199 to set up. I don't 100% remember, but it'll be $80 a month, and that's for 2 articles a month. So you save, it's $40 an article at that point. And then if you're doing it annually, it's 24 articles. So whether you do that over 12 months, 2 articles a month, or you do that over 6 months and have 4 articles a month, entirely up to you, it's $720. So each article is 500 to 700 words, I believe, and it's all custom written. So she has to sit there, you know, research your topic and grab that information to be able to do that for you in there. But again, finding the content right now isn't too difficult, in my opinion. So especially if you're writing about current situations and keeping people up to date on the market, you just type in COVID, real estate. Just type in simple keywords. It's going to pull up different articles. So like money sense, how would this affect the home prices? This is an article where you could probably dumb it down, right? Make it a little simplifier, but you can see how they have different hyperlinks, whether they're linking it internally into their page or linking it outside of their page. Those are all in there, but this is something that you could essentially dumb it down, and then you have this link, you know, information, you know, to read the full article, go here. But people are, you know, essentially this is something that people are interested in. You know, things to know about, you know, like depending on where you are, there's no showing of houses anymore. But depending on where you are, could be like, you know, tips on, you know, how to show your home during, you know, times like this, or tips on doing that, what you should be doing, what you should be looking for, and things like that. So there's a lot of information out there. Community events is an easy one. When people can actually go back outside, I know I'm a family of 5, and every weekend I go online and I'm looking for things that I can do with my family. So if, you know, and I'm sure any one of you guys that have families that you're looking, you go online to see for community events, what's happening in and around the area, right? So if you could be that information hub, people keep coming back to your website because you've got all that information. You spent a little bit of time, did a little bit of research, and put it on to, you know, one primary spot for them all. With respect to that. So, if you cannot copy it word for word. So that would still be copyright. But if you're copying an article word for word, it actually has a negative effect on Google. Google can figure that out. They're like little bots out there, pretty intelligent. They're going to tell that you ripped that information off. And it actually gives you like a positive, like a negative, like an F on your website for doing something like that. They want to see original content, not duplicated copy content on there. That's what they applaud you for, being original. So yeah, I would not copy it word for word if you're doing it. And really, it's like, this is a fairly long article from the looks of it. Well, actually, it's not too bad. It's just reading it, right? And put it into your own words. That's all you have to do. It doesn't have to be simple. It doesn't have to be an extensive article that you're writing out. It's just interpret it, put it to paper, put it to your computer or website, and then shoot it off. Because people, it's what people are. And so you can tell as well when you have an article and you can see, however many people shared it, and even just within your friends, that's something that people are engaging in. So why not put it on your website, drive that traffic to your website? So just to give you an idea of how big of an impact that could essentially have is, so if I share something on my page right now, I think I have 530 people that follow it. If I put that article, so that it doesn't get in front of all of them, it's algorithms of Facebook, just because you like my page doesn't you see all my stuff all the time. But then I can share it on my profile page. If I go to my profile page and I share that, again, it doesn't get in front of everyone. I have 2,500 friends on here that are essentially possibly going to see that. If 10 of my friends share that article, all of their friends on top of it will see it. And so it just keeps compounding onto your page and kind of keeps going and things like that. So it definitely has like a cascade, a domino effect when you are doing these things. So with respect to the SEO, so the link for that article, I just typed in COVID and then real estate as keywords. That's all I did. So it's very easy to find articles. Bank of Canada just dropped their interest rates again. Everyone's sharing the Financial Post, the National Post, whatever. Put it into your website. Like, what does that mean on somebody's loan? Dumb it down, that sort of thing. Like, it's easy for me to tell you guys to do this stuff, and that's why I said it's easy for me to tell you. It's another thing to implement, and I 100% understand that. The images are great. You're going to want to link those images as well. So if you have those image files, to save those images, kind of relevant keywords with that, because those keywords will also show up if you search on Google for images, right? So those are a great way. So for example, let's just pull up Brent Kellingham right here. Kellington. There's always images. Right, so whether these are all your images or not, they're all different images, right? So whether this was a listing that you had, things like that. So it's all ties into each other in one way, shape, or form. Images attract people, right? So people like to visually see things. That's where they can definitely be beneficial to have those images in there. Joseph, this webinar is being recorded. It is, you'll be able to see it on our Facebook page, as well as tomorrow it will actually go out. So tomorrow at 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock, I'm a different time, you guys. So 1 o'clock, you will get an email, and that email will have this recording inside of it as well for you guys to watch in there. Yeah, so tons of articles on there. Dumb them down. I know it's a task. It's the one thing that you guys can definitely do right now to keep your business going. And these are good tools and tactics to have in place if you have started to kind of gain these routines and daily habits. It definitely goes a long way. One thing that you can do, and just a quick tip on your Facebook page, so when you are sharing articles, try to do it on your business page first and share it onto your profile after, if you were going to do it that way. And one thing I just want to show you is the insight. So to build your page likes, okay? So some of you have a lot of page likes, some of you are still working on those page likes. So one cool trick that you have is you can even go into your notifications or insights. I think it's notifications. It's been a while since I've actually done this. You will have, you know, your likes essentially. So you can definitely see that they liked your page. You can invite. So when you open up this, you have one comment, one share, that sort of thing. These are your insights. You can invite people to like, and I'm trying to find it. I just haven't done this in a long time. Or I don't do it often enough. Let's put it that way. So likes, posts. These are my insights. I'll have to find it. I'll shoot it over to you guys in that recording tomorrow. I will do that for you guys. It's really with respect to your posts and things like that. It's the ability to invite people to like your page because they actually engaged in it. So even if they don't actually follow you, for example, with respect to anything, you can encourage them to like your page. Just by doing that. And maybe it's the activity. Recent reviews, recommendation, I don't know. I'll have to check it out. I'll put a little video together for you guys once I do this for you. But I do appreciate all of you guys taking part in this. If you guys are doing this and you're running into any kind of issues, that sort of thing, you can definitely do that. Mention shares. So Brent Callahan is saying it's that. So spring, this is, so shares. No, she's showing that I did that. This is like the shares. So apparently a lot of people shared this. Yeah, I'm not too sure. It's funny. The bell notification. This is the one that definitely, this is just my notifications. Yeah, this is fun. More insights, ad center, publishing tools. I don't remember. I'll figure it out. It's fun. I don't want to keep you guys all waiting while I do this because I used to do this like every single day, and I just haven't done it in a long time. So there's a lot of buttons in Facebook, needless to say. Publish post. Okay, so reach. And there, 3, so likes and shares. So post clicks, action. Typically, you should be able to. So peak, view, minute. Yeah, I don't know. I'll figure it out for you guys. I will send it in that video. I don't want to keep you all waiting in here. And then, yeah, if you guys do have any questions that you do have as you're doing this, and you're not 100% sure, you forgot, just reach out. I'd be happy to assist you. You know, guys, make the most of this while you can. And again, I hope to see you guys all on Monday because we do have Nadeem coming in and he's going to be helping you out with respect to Facebook and how to boost posts if you've never done that, how to run an ad. So if you're running those, you know, the ads for the nosy neighbor, he will show you how to create a lead campaign. So if you guys are on the lead gen system, how you can generate leads to that website as well, and your CRM system. So it's going to be great. You know, every Monday and Friday for the next little while, we're going to try to do something for you guys. So if there is any topics that you don't notice, just let us know. We'll see. We'll check it out, see if it's something that we can put together, and we'll go from there. So thank you all for watching. Have yourself a fantastic weekend. Try to stay safe the best you can. Stay inside, as fun as it is. Until Monday, you guys have yourself a great weekend. Joseph, the meeting on Monday is at 1 o'clock, same time. So all these webinars are at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.